liters. The rate is 2,500 for the 8,000 liters and 5,000 for the 16,000. The number of loads are also listed. 4,400 for the 2.5, the 8,000 liter and 1138 loads. And the total amount they are given is 16.6 million. And the volume of it sold there, therefore, is 53,425 cubic meters. So there's that distinction. Secondly, the work tickets for the water tankers indicate an area, not an individual, because the water is dispensed directly from a truck, and residents come with the jerrycans. So there's no building address. You'll go to Mukuru, and Mukuru everybody will come to where the truck is, the tanker is, and receive the water. Now the tanker might stop in many other areas within the same informal settlement. For instance, if you're in Kibera and you start from DC, you'll stop again up until Tarangombe, you'll stop at the next place where people congregate. And that was what was happening at that time. And so what we have is a daily water tanker allocation that we have. That is attached. The work tickets are attached. What else? Yeah, work tickets and locations were submitted.
In our report, is not attached.
Not attached. We submitted. It's what was submitted.
Oh, to the auditors. Auditors, can you confirm?
Thank you, Chair. I wish to restate again that the work tickets that were provided to us are the same work tickets that we looked at during our execution, and they raised these same questions or observations whereby the destination or the beneficiary of the water consumed, we could not be able to confirm then. So the same work tickets indicating Nairobi Metropolitan and back, they are the same ones that were also resubmitted for the second time. So the status remains quo.
Yeah, maybe guide us. How do you indicate beneficiaries in Kibera and 1,000 people have come?
Chair, if I could comment, our report says that the work ticket did not disclose the destination. And speaking to what the governor has said, the destination was the water supplied to Kibera, or was it supplied to Madare? That is the destination, not the individuals. So that is what is missing in the work tickets.
So back to the governor. His Excellency the Governor.
You have a copy of the work ticket.
Any of your officers can respond to that.
I'm asking them to get a copy of the work tickets.
Yeah.
Sample that you can go to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll give them time to just get.
Okay, we give you a few minutes.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, to save on time, honorable members, your brief questions or comments on this audit query. Starting with the Nairobi delegation, Senator Mutinda.
The auditor has just said that what was submitted is just the same submission. So in a nutshell, there was nothing that was new. If you should first confirm. Through Chair, thank you, Honorable Senator. I wish to state that the same work tickets that were provided to us, they are the same ones that were resubmitted to our office. And also, we have two categories of water tankers here. The water tankers that are owned by Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company, and the water tankers that were procured by NMS. However, they were manned by Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company. So the aspect that you are querying here is the management of the water tankers. and the distribution of water using the water tankers. Because the water tankers owned by Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company are the ones that are used to sell water to those people maybe who need water. However, the water tankers that were procured by NMS, they are the tankers that were supposed to have been used to issue water to informal settlements free of charge. So we need to actually differentiate the two. However, the water tankers for NMS were manned, fueled, repaired by Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company, according to their documents. Thank you.
I want us to delay that aspect, because the county government is going to provide us a sample of the work ticket. So from there, now we'll be able to look at that matter. Yeah, because once we look at the work ticket, we'll be able to...
Sure, I want to find out, was this the water to informal settlement? Was there any arrangement then between Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company and the government to pay them? Because I believe they had some bulk metering on the, when they were filling water in the water boxes. Was government going to pay, or it was just a donation from the water company?
Hey, let's just pick all the questions, and then you can answer at once. Senator Mutinda.
Yeah, I had not finished my question, and out of that clarity, did you write to the MD auditors stating what you've just put on this table, that what they submitted was just a duplicate of what had previously? Did you write back to them? Is there evidence that you communicated to them on that particular aspect? Because then that's an audit query. So what did you do in that instance?
Wait, we are asking questions first.
Auditors.
Yeah, just write the questions down, then I'll give you time to respond.
The reason I'm trying to put it smoothly like that, because in the past, I was really trying to guide my MD in where we should concentrate. And you see, at this point, the auditors are saying that what you issued to them was like a copy. It's like the same, which is quite a very sensitive issue. And it's at this point I'm trying to understand, did they communicate to you that whatever you've submitted is the same documents that you had also submitted? Because there's something that is amiss there for me to be able to understand on that particular area. So if through the chair, auditors would also share on this table if they communicated to them, maybe it was a mistake from the office of the MD, I'm just saying maybe. Is there communication that you indicated to the MD?
Hi.
Senator Miraj, sema yako tusikie.
Asante mwenyekiti. Kwa uelewa wangu mdogo auditor ni kwamba kwenye response ya governor wamesema wao hawawezi kujibu kwa niaba ya NMS. Lakini imedhihirika ya kwamba NMS walichokifanya ni kuleta zile tankers ambazo zilikuwa managed na kampuni ya maji, ambapo hapa tunasema kwamba mafuta na kila kitu wao ndio walikuwa wanasimamia. Na swali lako kama auditor lilikuwa ni kwamba hamkupewa kuonyeshwa yale maji yalikuwa yanapelekwa wapi katika zile risiti zilizokuwepo. Kwa hivyo hapa hakuna issue ya NMS. NMS wao walinunua ama kama walikodisha, lakini management yote imekuwa ikifanywa na kampuni ya maji ya Nairobi. Asante.
Any other question? So let's start with the auditor. The question by Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to state that we did not write back to the MD, Nairobi Water City and Sewerage Company. However, we had an official meeting with the top management, that is the finance director and the finance manager, and we went through the documents that they had provided on 8th of June, 2023. 8th of June 2023 is just last week. Yes. So what was the communication when you highlighted what you just highlighted,
that, Mr. MD, these are the same documents. What was the response on that meeting?
Fine, they indicated there was an anomaly or a gap which was going to be filled in the next audits or during their work. That when they are going to be issuing the water, they'll be able to indicate the destination of the water. It was an overlook on their side.
So eventually you did not get the documents that you were supposed to get?
They don't have any other documents, so they could not have provided them.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Governor, your response to the questions posed by the senators.
Okay. The issue of whether there was the water was a donation or an arrangement with national government, I will allow the MD answer that. The use of the trucks were purchased by NMS and then given to Nairobi Water Company to manage. It's a very proper thing to do, because Nairobi Water is a company fully owned by Nairobi County Government. So in fact, in many aspects, we share assets. Recently, when there were floods, we were using the flushing units from the county, and the MD said, why don't you just give us the flushing units, so that because we use them more often. And really, the objective is to see what is the most efficient use of the assets that you have. How do we serve the people the best way? So there's no distinction. Even if there are those that were bought, when there's need to distribute water, you will still use the ones which Nairobi Water had initially. You cannot say that this truck will not move because it's for selling, and then we only use those ones which were bought that time by the mess. If you need, in my understanding, because these are matter that I raised in Senate at that time, and that was a response, and it made sense to me in the Senate that if you have how many trucks, let's say 50, and you need 10 extra that are there but are not bought for that purpose, will you not use them? You'll of course use them, and you'll go and distribute. The issue of the documents being the same that were resubmitted, I think is just as she said, it means there are no other documents. Otherwise it would be cooking work tickets if you now produce new fresh work tickets. Those are the tickets we have. Those are the only ones they used. I think in their meeting in June, they acknowledged, okay, maybe going forward, we should write specific locations. But we need to make it a bit, and I'll ask the Auditor General to be a bit lenient. If you go for an actual operation of where we take water, the kind of activity on the ground in our slums will not let you write every single stop. You'd rather write constituency even, or sub-county. Yeah. If you go to Kahawa, Soweto, and you start keying those, the driver will not even have the time to do that. People come and they mob the truck. You have to make sure that in fact, many times people who are supposed to do other roles are standing out kupanga watu, kusimama vizuri. That's how it is in Nairobi. And it will be a lot of paperwork. So if you can just say, kama ni Madhari, you indicate Madhari. Yeah? Indicate, for example, so that you can check where these trucks actually went. But anybody who was in Nairobi during COVID, I think, saw that program. It really helped us out, including the boreholes that were done at that time. Of course, now we have a problem with the boreholes because of the fluoride levels in some parts of the city. But I think everybody witnessed that was done. So that's a discrepancy that is there. And I'm glad that the Auditor General's office and my officers at Nairobi Water had a meeting, because the purpose of audit is to improve, public finance management. There's no entity that is perfect at either national or county level. What we want to see is a repetition of the same issue that is flagged. And that is why even us with the Auditor General's office said we come up with a framework for implementation of audit recommendations, such that even between the period, you can be able to track what is being done in implementing recommendations of audit documents. Chair, I don't think there's anything to add.
Very well.
So there's the issue of whether the water was free.
Now, thank you so much. The water supply through NMS Bausas was free. And unless we don't live in Kenya or we don't listen to the president, directives. The president, every time he used to address matters of COVID, he used to say the government of Kenya is giving free water to the informal settlement or poor areas. And they installed washing hands in every public place to ensure people wash their hands so that we can reduce transmission of COVID. Again, in the reports, besides the president's directives, in the report, the national government report for COVID, it is indicated clearly that the water was being distributed free to less unfortunate people in the country. And we submitted those reports to the Auditor General.
On that one, Mr. MD, you know, that was a public communication by the president then. But you remember when you were here last, we demanded to see any written communication from the government on that directive, because I'm sure that the government would have given that directive. And based on our other audit meetings we have had with the other water companies, that matter has come up, and some counties actually provided communication from the government on that. Senator Mutinda?
Yeah, the water was actually supposed to be distributed free, but the water was supposed to still be accountable for IMD. But my question, I want to narrow it to, the governor has explained the challenges when you take the water to the ground. And so I want to ask, how many staff accompany the delivery of water to its destination?
Now, thank you so much. On the support through the chair, the supporting document, there is, I think, a letter from the Ministry of Water, which was signed by the CS Water. I think it was, it was part of the document handed over to the auditor, together with the National COVID Committee's report, final report, showing that the water was being issued freely. Now, to answer the senator's question, we normally have a driver, and we have an assistant who accompanies the truck whenever it is delivering water, and then also the variant gerodas, it is communicated where the water used to be taken so that people can.
Thank you for the response, but it's a clear challenge also when, as the governor says, you go to a specific slum, 1,000 people are here crowding, they want some water, and then you see the driver is not supposed to come down as a driver. This assistant, one person, ensuring that every person gets water in that crowded place, it becomes a challenge. And I've not heard you maybe mention how you're going to mitigate that moving forward, because once, then it's only one staff against 1,000 people needing water. Definitely then water will pour and then there will be losses. Then you'll not have achieved. So that is an area that you, as you move away from maybe this through the chair, is an area that you need to work on the number of staff that need to be on the ground when water is being delivered. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Before you respond to that, our minority group has joined. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Gadam Olekena, Senator of County, a member of this committee, and also the minority whip.
Very well. Governor, proceed with your response.
We finished that response.
Yeah.
Or go to the next one.
I just wanted to comment on this particular audit query.
Yeah.
The MD has stated that there was some communication on that. So I think it will be important to provide that.
Yeah, that communication is part of what was sent to the Auditor General, according to the MD, the letter from the Ministry of Water.
Okay.
But if you have an, we can still submit it. Either way.
Yeah, you can submit it to the committee, directly to the committee. Maybe in another 14 days. It will be one of the things we'll ask you to submit when we finish this meeting.
Thank you.
Secondly,
and I pray that this time let it just come all in writing, so that I can follow up and make sure it comes to you.
it will come in writing.
Yeah.
It will come in writing.
Thank you.
Just before you, maybe let me finalize. And also, there is an audit query that we have left out in our list that touches on that. If you look at page 7, and reconciled COVID-19 response program funds, where Nairobi County was given 135.7 million shillings to handle issues of COVID-19 emergency response. So that particular audit does not relate with the response given here. On the free were funded by the government to the tune of 135.7 million shillings to support you on COVID-19 responses. So I think as a committee we'll note that a very important point. Senator Narok, Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The problem of coming late is that you don't know whether a query that you want to ask has already been canvassed. I was looking at these audit queries, and Governor, there is one point that I wanted clarification on in terms of 1.4. Are we still 1.4 or are we done with 1.4?
1.4, we are actually on 1.4.
1.4. So looking at two variances here. I'm looking one at the variance in the type of the amount of water that is supposed to have been distributed to the informal sectors. Is about 55,446 cubic meters. That's number one. Number two, also, I'm looking at the second variant, which is the amount of money, which the liters. It says 17 bowsers operated by the NMS were reported to have consumed fuel totaling to 103,916.39 liters, costing 9.8, which was paid for by the company. The work ticket for the vehicles did not disclose the water supply and destinations. To be able to clear these audit queries, I want to restrict myself to looking at what the audit has raised. Because I don't know, Governor, whether your team were in office during this time, or is this a new team?
Everyone who comes in asks the same question. Yes, the same people.
It's the same people. Yeah. So if it is the same people, really, I think we can be able to resolve these matters easily. And the reason being, the Public Audit Act, Section 31. In fact, I think it's Section 31(5), gives your team 2 weeks to be able to resolve to this matter. We know that function had been transferred to NMS, but the company paid for it. What I'm trying to get to, so that I can be able to clear this query, is the response they gave to the Auditor General to try and mitigate on these issues. Because my problem is this matter has already now been brought to the Senate. This 55,446 cubic meter have not been fully explained and how that money, whether that water was delivered or it was not delivered. Because when the auditor says that the records which were available to them indicated 273 cubic meter of water was supplied, where did this other 55,446? Is this an issue of non-billed water? And if it is an issue of non-billed water, why would the records indicate that the water which was billed was 332 cubic meters? So I just want that clarification so that we can actually clear the issue. Because there's no point of just going through the issue and not clearing it. Because maybe in 14 days you are supposed to provide more information, you provide and you have not cleared it. That query will still reoccur in the next financial year. So, Governor, if we can go through that and we clear so that it is recorded